All right, Shalom. Before I start off, like to first and foremost give all honor, glory, and praise to our Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, taught us the truth. And our peace and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel, right, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, as well as you Israelite foreigners scattered abroad. And as you're seeing from this headline from Newsweek, which reads, Russia warns against U.S. strike on Iran nuclear sites. Catastrophic.
In a few moments, I will sign a historic executive order instituting reciprocal tariffs on countries throughout the world. Reciprocal.
Salat. But reading on, it says, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov warned there would be catastrophic consequences if the U.S. strikes Iran's nuclear infrastructure after a threat made by President Donald Trump. All right, and what you've had recently, Trump has threatened Iran over a nuclear deal, all right, which Iran is said to be stockpiling enriched uranium, all right, to develop nuclear weapons. All right, and since have rejected the whole, talks of nuclear deals. And now you have it to where Russia is threatening the U.S. if they should attack these Iran nuclear sites. Okay. And even Iran had threatened retaliation as well. So we're seeing things build up into this Third World War, all right? But as of right now, we're only hearing of these wars and rumors of wars. Now you're gonna have these proxies popping off before things blow full-scale nuclear. And even then, things still have to play out, all right? The MOTB has to be mandated across the world, all right? The whole world is going to be tried pursuing Revelation 3 and 10, the hour of temptation, all right? And pursuing Revelation 13 and 16. So, there's a few more headlines. Let's read. The U.S. sends second aircraft carrier to Middle East as Trump threatens to bomb Iran. Trump's threat to Iran that there will be bombing comes amid new B-2 stealth bomber moves. Right, and we know that over there in the Red Sea, the Houthis, all right, which were militants out of Yemen, have been attacking aircraft carriers in the Red Sea. All right, so there's these ongoing tensions. Meanwhile, what we're also seeing amidst America's allies, strong anti-American rhetoric coming from these NATO nations. Let's grab a few precepts. It's Matthew 24:6. And you shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right, so before the destruction of America, aka Babylon the Great, all right, which is at the pinnacle of this Third World War, all right, which is the Battle of Armageddon, which is the mountain of troops. All right, the Lord is putting it in the minds of these nations' leaders to prepare war. All right, which He's going to lead them into the Middle East. All right, the Valley of Haushpat, the Valley of the Lord's judgment, to judge them round about. And you shall hear wars and rumors of wars, as we hear now. Okay, you have all these proxies popping off. All right, and wars, rumors of wars. All right. See that you be not troubled. And we're not troubled. All right, because we have the insight on what's going on in the earth. All right, and through it all, we understand that as it pertains to biblical prophecy, these things must come to pass before our deliverance. All right, before our Lord Yahushua makes His return. Okay, and there's we have peace of mind knowing that we have a more sure word of prophecy. Okay, all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places, as we see now. All right, and you just had that major earthquake in Myanmar, which was 7.7 magnitude. Okay, and they've been talking of earthquakes also that could hit Japan, that could hit over here in the West Coast, California. All right. Pestilences, this whole measles. All right, and they've been talking about Ebola. All right, this the BF, and so many other. All right, and the infectious diseases are rising up. Famines. What you have with these reciprocal tariffs that Trump is putting on these nations and their imports. All right, this is all going to lead to famines. Food prices skyrocketing. All right, verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. You see? So, this is just the beginning of this Third World War that's brewing up. Revelation 11:14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Woe meaning destruction. All right, the second woe is past, which was dealing with the Second World War, which began in 1939, ended in 1945. Right, remember the U.S. Newly created atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan. All right, which at the time, none of these nations had seen that military capability. All right, Esau, he was at the top of the world at one point. Okay, but now all these other nations possess that technology. Okay, hypersonic nuclear missiles, all right, with nuclear payloads, ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles, all right. And at the height of this Third World War, they're going to be used and shot off. And they're going to hit this place, America. This is going to be the lake of fire, okay? Right here in America, this place is going to be totally decimated by way of that thermonuclear destruction. So I want to read a little more in that article, which says, rising tensions between Iran and the U.S. have reignited concerns of the potential for military conflict. The U.S. President Donald Trump and Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei have escalated the tone of their remarks, intensifying the standoff over Iran's nuclear program. Trump has reinstated his maximum pressure campaign, which has led to the reimposition of strike sanctions in order to weaken Iran's economy and stop its nuclear program. Which that's the whole MO, all right, of these small hats, which, as it tells you, that the least of the flock shall draw them out. I believe that's in Jeremiah, either the 50th or the 49th chapter, I believe. Matter of fact, the least of the flock. It's dealing with Amalek, man, the small hats. Okay, and they're dragging the U.S. into this Third World War. Is it 45? It's like Jeremiah 50, 45. Yep. So it's in both chapters, but it's it's worded differently. But I'm gonna read this is Jeremiah 50 and 45. Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh that he had taken against Babylon, which modern day Babylon, all right, or Babylon the Great, is dealing with America. And his purpose is that he had purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. How we know this is America, all right, this Babylon is speaking of America. Okay, now the Chaldeans, back in ancient Babylon, they were like the high-ranking officials that dealt with witchcraft and sorcery. All right, you had those monthly prognosticators, soothsayers of the king of Babylon. Okay, Nebuchadnezzar II back then. All right, and like as today in America, you have these these top witches and warlocks, amongst these high-ranking officials. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, which is dealing with the small hats over there in the state of Israel. All right. The least of the flock shall draw them out, which they are the stock of Amalek, tribe of Edom. Okay. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So they're going to cause America to be dragged into this Third World War. And where it says, surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. All right. America is going to be desolate. It's going to be wholly desolate. But these small hats are going to get hit over in that land as well. And you're seeing pretty much the build-up up until that point. Putin orders largest Russian military draft in over a decade as Ukraine peace deals stall. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday ordered the largest military conscription in Russia since 2011, signaling a significant expansion of Russian armed forces amid stalled peace negotiations with Ukraine and mounting international pressure. So things are getting fired up. All right. Now you got all these big players, all right, being stirred up. Russia. And this is in line with Ezekiel 38. The headline, which reads, Prophecy of Gog and Future Invasion of Israel. You see? So them small hats over there, they gonna get hit as well. Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Just dealing with the Russians, man. All right, when you look at them ancient lands of Gog and Magog, they're today modern day Russia. The chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, which that name Russia actually goes back to the Hebrew, which means Ra'ash, which is head or chief, Shah, which is prince. Verse 3, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, and chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. So the Most High is against these Edomites, because they're Edomites as well. All right. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. That USSR fighting spirit is being put into these Russians to want to come against America, all right, and the European nations, which they're going to side eventually with Russia and the BRICS nations. Iran is a part of BRICS. So it says, and I will bring thee forth and all thine army and horses and horsemen, which is their military, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, modern day Iran, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. So Iran, along with an assembly of other nations, are going to be in league with Russia in this Third World War. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, is dealing with Turkey. All right. Of the north quarters and all his bands and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepared for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia is going to be a guard unto Iran and many other nations in this Third World War. See? Which it even came out that the Houthis, not only are they backed by Iran, their military, their military force that's backed by Iran, but they're also backed by Russia. All right, so this is the part 2. Salak. All right, and this is another article which reads, Putin orders largest military draft in over a decade as Ukraine peace talks stall. I believe I already read this, but I'll read that portion right there. The Kremlin decree aims to enlist 160,000 men between the ages of 18 and 30 from April through July 2025. The move comes as the war with Ukraine drags into its third year with no clear resolution in sight, and as military losses on both sides continue to mount. The draft order marks the most sweeping conscription since Russia called up 200,000 troops in 2011. It follows a series of smaller mobilizations in 2023 and 2024. So the Lord is gathering these heathen armies to war, man. Right? He's putting that spirit in these Russians, all right, in these countries to prepare, man. Let's get Joel. Three and 9. Proclaim me this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, which is the nation's armies. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. It's plowshares, pruning hooks, dealing with agriculture. All right. These nations are no longer, well, for the most part, they're putting all their spending into weaponry. All right. Into nuclear programs. All right. Into their military might, as opposed to infrastructure or agriculture. Beat your plowshares and swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. You know, because all of these, which were at one point in time considered lesser and weaker nations, they're now, they now possess nuclear capabilities. Verse 11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause the mighty ones to come down, O Lord. All right, so these nations are being assembled to fight this third world war. Right, they're going to come down to the valley of Shaphat in the Middle East, and the Lord is going to pop up on them, and he's gonna obliterate them, man. All right, let the heathen be wakened to come up to the valley of Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. You see, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, and their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. So this thing is near, man. All right. How much more the MOTB? How much more SHTF shit in the fan? All right. Things are happening quickly, man. So we know that the mark of the beast is going to be mandated soon. It's already it. But it's only a matter of time until they come with that cause. Right? He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand on their foreheads. So Esau is going to be the author of the cause. He's going to cause some disruptive event, which leads to the MOTB being pushed as the solution. All right. Not long after that, man, the deliverance and the destruction of this place is gonna happen. Okay. Zephaniah 3 and 8. And I'm going to close out with this. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord. And this is a waiting game, man. You know, everything that we're seeing happening in the earth, all right, we're patiently, waiting and standing upon our watch, all right, and getting ourselves prepared, all right, because we know that the end is near, man. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Shai, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather in the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, to righteous anger. This is all for the controversy of the Lord's people. All right, what these nations have done to our people, all right, how they put us into captivity. They came down with the sword upon us. All right, those things are gonna happen unto them. All right, their punishment is gonna take place in this third world war. All right, in which their armies are gonna be crushed. You know, and after that, they're going into captivity. They're gonna serve us in the kingdom. All right, and there ain't gonna be no more war after that. You know. To pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. You see? So yeah, just another quick update. Once again, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto our Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, great most known to us truth, and peace and blessings to the elect, to the next I see Shalom.